Greetings, my alien babies, and welcome to the Alien Babies podcast, where we talk about UFOs, ghosts, the paranormal, and even following your dreams and living life. So, how's everybody doing? Anybody gotten abducted by any UFOs lately? Let me know. Drop it down in the comments. We got some exciting UFO news, so I'll be talking about that. So stick around and stay tuned. Doge. I got some yellow backlighting behind me. Don't know if you can tell. Probably not. It's not very bright. But yeah, Doge. Drop it down. Who's a Doge millionaire? Who's holding Doge? Who's waiting for it to go above 30 cents? I gave myself a fade a few times recently. And if you don't know what a fade is, it's normally what a barber does, but this week your boy is a barber. So I gave myself a fade a few times. I think it turned out okay. You know? Just trying to save a few bucks and trying to touch it up between haircuts. So yeah, so let's dive right into the UFO news. UFO filmmaker releases a 46-second video allegedly showing swarm of objects hovering near Navy ship. Let me get a little bit of water. Oh, don't drop it. Yeah. That's the stuff. Okay. Come on. A UFO filmmaker shared a video clip on Thursday depicting radar footage he claimed shows a swarm of unidentified flying objects near a Navy ship off the coast of San Diego almost 2 years ago. That's so strange. How does Jeremy Corbell get his hands on this supposed, alleged, real UFO footage? Like, why? Who is giving him this footage? Why? Like, he's just some filmmaker. He's not like the president. Like, is the president even getting all this stuff? He's got to be. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I don't know where he gets it. Jeremy Corbell posted the 46-second clip on Twitter, saying it was taken from the USS Omaha on July 15th, 2019. Corbell, a UFO enthusiast and filmmaker. I'm a UFO enthusiast and a filmmaker, which I will be doing more filmmaking soon, but I'm a filmmaker. Not a ton of experience, but I have some. And, but yeah, I'm a UFO enthusiast. Why doesn't somebody leak me some secret UFO footage? You don't think, you alien boy, that's a UFO hunter, that's seen crazy impossible things? Do you think I wouldn't want to get my hands and my eyeballs on some sexy UFO footage? Send it my way. Behind the 2018 documentary, Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, said the footage showed a significant UFO event series. Dun dun dun. In the clip, a radar screen is shown with several objects moving around the ship. At one point, an unidentified man is heard saying, everything's unidentified about this, saying, holy expletive. I guess he said holy F or holy S. They're moving fast. They're turning around. That's not something you want to say, huh? They're moving fast and they're turning around? No. You keep going. Leave us alone. Please don't attack. Let's see, and here's the footage here. Let's check this out. Radar footage. Okay. I see multiple objects. Kind of slowly moving around on this radar. I think I can't really tell where the ship is. I don't know if it's all the way to the right in the northeast corner or if it's supposed to be dead center. Seeing lots of objects on the radar, it doesn't necessarily seem like they're moving fast, but I just see like, see 3, 6, maybe 9 objects, 9 or 10 moving around. It's impossible to tell what they really are, I guess, if you're not experienced with radar, I guess, because I have no clue. I mean, it could be anything, right? And who can corroborate, like, did the Navy come out and say that, yes, this is legitimate footage? Like, is it possible he's making this up? Is there any possibility? Because, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, why would, I don't know. This isn't the first time Corbell has shared footage claiming to prove the existence of UFOs. An 18-second clip he shared showing 3 UFOs hovering over the USS Russell in 2019 was confirmed by the Navy. Okay, I like that. They confirmed that footage as authentic earlier this year, according to the New York Post. According to the New York Post. Could the New York Post be making this up? Like, I don't know. I need the Navy to come out themselves on the news and tell us point blank, yes, we confirmed that footage. Because, you know, with some of these, a lot of, like, the news and, get a little water. Because with a lot of the news and people that write articles, you know, they try to write articles and sometimes they lie, sometimes they try to get the views and the clicks, because that's what makes the money, honey. Let's see, expected June 1st, upcoming UFO report. And this is the 80-day, 90-day COVID relief bill thing where they put UFOs into the COVID relief bill or something like that. And they gave the government or the Pentagon or whoever 190 days to disclose what they know about UFOs. So that's coming up on June 1st. That's what, in a couple days? So that's exciting. We're going to see what happens. They're either going to share a bunch or share nothing, or who knows? We're going to find out. Upcoming UFO report will be difficult to explain, former National Intelligence official says. Difficult to explain? Does that mean you don't, because you don't know? Because if you don't know, just say you don't know. Or if you're lying and you do have a bunch of info, but it's public isn't ready to hear it, just tell us. Be like, you know what, guys? You're just not ready to hear what we have to say about UFOs. So we're just not going to tell you. Hey, that's fine. Just be honest. Let us know what the deal is. Thursday's shared footage comes a few days before a government-sanctioned report on unidentified aerial phenomena is expected to be sent to Congress. Some former federal officials have teased that the unclassified report will include unexplainable events. Luis Elizondo, former director of the Defense Department's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, told 60 Minutes that some reported sightings don't have explanations. Well, that's true. I've seen a bunch of crazy stuff that I can't explain. You know, if you see something flying through the sky that looks like a giant Tic Tac that you can't eat, how do you explain that? We're going through our due diligence. Is it some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed? Is it some sort of high-altitude balloon that's conducting reconnaissance? I mean, that's a crazy balloon if it can maneuver like that and fly thousands of miles per hour within a split second, but I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy balloon. Ultimately, when you have exhausted all those what-ifs and you're still left with the fact that this is in our airspace and it's real, that's when it becomes compelling and that's when it becomes problematic. Elizondo told the broadcast news outlet on a May 16 segment. And in March, former director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe told Fox News Maria Barteramo, that some of the things difficult to explain in these past unreleased sightings include movements that are hard to replicate or objects traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without creating a sonic boom. That's very interesting. Like, how is something like that possible? Like, how can you do that? I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what creates a sonic boom. When, would it be possible for a sonic boom to not present itself? I don't know. I don't have enough information on that. If you're a scientist, let me know in the comments. When would something like this be possible? How could it be possible? There are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we've seen. And when that information becomes declassified, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. Okay? Interesting. So yeah, that's some very interesting, new, freshly released, sexy UFO footage. Well, you can't really say it's UFO footage, because it's not actual footage of a UFO. It's radar footage. That could be anything. I don't know. I'll have to take everybody's word for it that this is actual footage of UFOs swarming. What are they swarming? Navy ships? Very interesting. What do you guys think? Drop it down in the comments. Stay hydrated, everybody. UFO intelligence report due next month after military sightings including off Virginia coast. An intelligence report on unidentified aerial phenomenon, commonly referred to as UFOs, is due to Congress next month, weeks after widespread renewed interest in the unexplained sightings. Gone are the days of the U.S. government scoffing at the idea of UFOs. And how crazy is that? All of a sudden, like last year, especially this year, government, Pentagon, comes out and says, yes, UFOs are real. Finally, they admit it, And it seems like most people didn't really bat an eye to it, didn't really care. They got too much going on in their own lives. COVID's going on, They're like, meh, whatever, UFOs. Doesn't mean, that's what people love to say. Doesn't mean it's alien. Doesn't mean that it's alien. We just don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, why don't you know what it is? Think about that for a second. If you knew what it was, then you'd know what it is, right? If you don't know what it is and it's strange and it's doing things that defy the laws of physics, probably aliens. Or there's some government out there, maybe China, Russia, that would mean they have technology that defies the laws of physics as we know it. Which seems like a stretch. To me, it's more believable that it's aliens. Or some kind of other strange weather phenomenon. I don't know. There's a lot we don't know. It could be anything. But to say that it's not to say that at least some of these sightings isn't alien related, I think that's not true. I think some of these things 100% alien related. I've literally seen things that look like aliens up in the sky, so that's just my take on it. Military personnel increasingly say they have seen the moving images in the sky. What? Why would they call it moving images in the sky? That's a strange way to put it. Prompting a report ordered by Congress. Look at that thing. It's rotating. One service member said when looking at a unidentified object flying off the coast. Flying off the Florida coast in 2015, the Pentagon labeled the sighting as Gimbal. The Pentagon labeled the sighting as Gimbal. Well, why would you call it a gimbal? The Pentagon and the government love to call UFOs things that kind of like downgrades it a bit. Like, they wanted to classify UFOs as UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomenon. They're trying to downgrade the whole UFO thing, the whole alien thing. It's just an aerial phenomenon. It doesn't mean alien. And they got a bunch of humans brainwashed to think, well, it's probably not alien. We just don't know what it is. And again, I'm like, bruh, why don't you know what it is? It's either secret military craft, some of it, I'm sure it is, but other things that I've seen, gotta be alien. I mean, come on. Way too many planets, galaxies, universes, solar systems. It just short circuits your brain to think about. Too many out there for us to be the only living, intelligent life out there. Like, come on, man. You gotta be so dumb and brainwashed to think we're the only thing out there. Come on, man. Come on. Just stop it. Knock it off. Bad human. Smack you with a newspaper. Bad human. Come on, use your brain. But again, lots of people plugged into the matrix, not ready to unplug. I get it. You're brainwashed from birth to believe certain things. We're forced to go to school, middle school, elementary school, high school, sometimes even college. And the people that teach us were also brainwashed and fed certain information that a lot of the time isn't even true. And I'm not even going to get into all that, but anyway, I digress. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, where we at? Gimbal, right. U.S. military video and radar have documented the phenomenon, and some video taken in recent years has been released by the Department of Defense. Oh my gosh, man. Wow. What is that, man? Look at it fly. Another service member said of the Go Fast sighting off the Atlantic coast. U.S. lawmakers like Virginia Senator Mark Warner, chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, want answers. They want these answers. In a statement Friday, Senator Warren said Virginia is home to one of the largest naval bases in the world and to thousands of service members. While the report has not yet been made public, it is my hope that it can provide answers. If our naval pilots encounter interference performing their duties, addressing any risks that can endanger their lives, whether on a mission or during training, must remain a priority. Associate Professor of Physics at the University of Richmond, Jack Single, says it's important to separate conspiracy from unidentified aerial phenomena. There's that word again, conspiracy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but then didn't the government coin the term conspiracy theory to how can I explain this? They coined the term conspiracy theory to make people sound crazy, because anytime you question the government, it's got to be a conspiracy. It's got to be a conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy theory. It's not true. It's crazy talk. People just talking crazy. The government's chill, baby. The government's chill, my babies. We're not doing nothing crazy, nothing secretive. You're all conspiracy theorists coming up with these crazy ideas about us. Just chill. Don't listen to these crazy conspiracy theorists, man. And then what do we find out years later? Some of these conspiracy theories were true. Oh, the government was spying on us. Oh, they were doing some crazy stuff. But anyway. Anywho. Blah, blah, blah. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Hey, look, you can't always get clear video footage of this crazy stuff that we see. Sometimes it lasts a second, sometimes it lasts a few seconds. Sometimes the footage is grainy. You know why? Because sometimes these UFOs are so far away that these crappy iPhone cameras on our phone just can't record it very well. Doesn't matter if it's daytime, doesn't matter if it's nighttime. They're just not very good at recording UFOs. They're just not. People wonder, why we have all this grainy footage? Well, it's because the camera phones suck to capture UFOs. Build me an iPhone with a UFO feature that's specifically designed to capture UFOs, and then, it'll be a whole different story. Extraordinary evidence, Signal said. The conspiracy theories come in when we say things like, will aliens have visited Earth and the government is hiding the evidence of the alien bodies themselves, or direct spacecraft or real encounters with people who've been abducted? Well, if they're not hiding alien bodies and evidence, then why is there so much supposed evidence pointing towards that's the case? Why are there so many conspiracy theories, if that's what you want to call them? Hey, most of the time, where there's smoke, there's fire, And if the government was hiding alien bodies, do you really think we would know about it? Don't you think they would keep it a secret? So who's to say that's not in the realm of possibility? Barack Obama talks about UFOs again on late night television. Oh, I forgot about that. Maybe I'll get to that in a little bit. However, Single, just call yourself Signal. Flip the N with the G, call yourself Signal. So the potential for other alien life to exist in the galaxy is a possibility. Well, yeah, of course it's a possibility. That's like saying, it's a 50-50 chance you're going to win the lottery. It's a possibility. Well, obviously. It's more than a possibility. You should say it's a probability. It's a probability. Say it with me. Probability. This kind of interstellar space travel would be something that would take thousands of millions of years. Bro, here's a small-minded human talking about UFOs that he's probably never even seen. Probably never even seen a UFO, and he's talking about UFOs. If you've never seen a UFO, you probably shouldn't even talk about it. Guess what? If aliens are real, and they're super smart, they're going to figure out how to just warp to where they want to go. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to take them millions of years. It's going to take them seconds or minutes. Like, come on now. Be smart. They can fold space and time, go from point A to point B, boom, quickly. It's not going to take them millions of years. That's like what a closed-minded human would think. That's how they would think that aliens travel. No, like, what are you talking about? And so we would have to imagine a civilization that is much more advanced than ours. 100%. One of the things that has changed, I received a classified briefing on this, so I can only give you the top line, is that the military has seen enough things where they are actually now encouraging pilots to report. If there are objects flying over military installations that could pose a security threat, Senator Warren said last July. The U.S. UAP, I hate that word, UAP. What is an acronym? What's a UAP? Call it a UFO. If you call UFOs UAPs, don't follow me. Just please don't. The U.S. UAP intelligence report is due next month. No telling what it may detail. Again, please don't ever call UFOs UAPs. Just don't do it. Where's that Obama thing? Barack Obama talks about UFOs again on late night television. Former President Barack Obama is making the rounds on television. Last night he was on the Late Late Show with James Corden on CBS. During the interview, Corden, how do you say his name? Corden? Had his band members ask some questions. The UFO/alien question came from musician Reggie Watts. I just listened to Reggie Watts on the Joe Rogan podcast. Well, half of the podcast anyway. There's just too many podcasts to listen to. I don't have enough time. So listen to some of it. Reggie Watts is cool. He's cool. He's funny. He's interesting. He's weird. He's unique. He's eccentric. He's different. He's got talent. And he seems pretty kind and, pretty chill. He's cool. Watts asked Mr. Obama about dem aliens and UAFs, which we assume he meant UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, the government's term for UFOs. I wonder where he called them UAFs, unidentified aerial phenomenon with an F? I don't know. The president's response was lighthearted, but he did say, when I came into office, I asked, right? I was like, all right, is there the lab somewhere where we're keeping the alien specimens and spaceship? And they did a little bit of research and the answer was no. Yeah, right. The transcript of the short exchange is below. Reggie Watts. All this talk about dem aliens with, what are they, UAFs, or whatever they call them, all the footage, and I want to talk about what is your, I know that doesn't necessarily mean aliens, it is just a UAF, but I was wondering if you have a theory about that? Barack Obama says, well, when it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air. So right there, he's probably being serious. James Corden, but you'll tell us off air. Great. And the transcript continues. So this is not the first time the former president has spoken on late night TV about UFOs. In December 2020, he answered a variety of unusual questions from late night talk show host Stephen Colbert. One of those questions was about UFOs. Most recently, former President George W. Bush talked with Jimmy Kimmel about UFOs. Kimmel showed Mr. Bush the night vision video filmmaker Jeremy Corbell published. Kimmel then asked if the former president would be surprised if we were visited by creatures from another planet. President Bush quickly and enthusiastically said, yeah. You would be surprised, huh, Mr. Barack Obama? Interesting. What do you guys think? Drop it down in the comments. Does Barack Obama know something about UFOs that we don't know? Does he know more than he's saying? Actually, he did say he knows more than he can't share. Do you think he's being truthful about that? Do you think Barack Obama has UFO information that he just can't share with us? Drop it down in the comments. U.S. Pentagon to produce UFO answers next month. And we just touched on that earlier. But let's talk about it some more. UFO answers coming soon. Could the world soon get answers to its burning UFO questions? In December 2020, U.S. Senator Marco Rubio asked the Pentagon to investigate UFOs, or UAPs, as they've been rebranded in U.S. military jargon. Again, I hate that term, UAP. Don't ever use it. Don't follow me if you use it. Call it UFOs. With the help of the Senate Intelligence Committee, his request called for an unclassified report on everything government agencies know about UFOs within 6 months. That includes the scores of unusual sightings reported by military pilots. And the 6-month stretch is almost up. Can you believe it's almost been 6 months? Since the government has been ordered to tell us about what they know about UFOs. Finally, that 6 months is almost up, and that's exciting. June 1st, we're going to see what they have to say. Let's see, that in blah, 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 and then blah, blah, blah. The report is due in June 2021, and Rubio seems eager to see it. In an interview with CBS's 60 Minutes reporter Bill Whitaker, Rubio said, I want us to take it seriously and have a process to take it seriously. I want us to have a process to analyze the data every time it comes in. I'm all for that. Process the data as it comes in, my babies. There should be a place where this is cataloged and constantly analyzed until we get some answers. I mean, there are a few websites that catalog UFO sightings. There's UFOstalker.com, theblackvault.com. MUFON has a bunch of stuff, a database. What else? I think there's one or two others that I'm forgetting. Maybe it has a very simple answer. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, a simple answer like aliens. That would be a simple answer for you. Scientists, God, people just want to resist the idea of aliens so bad. They just want to resist that idea so bad. Scientists, pilots, and UFOs. It's in the nature of scientific thought that hypotheticals, for example, the notion that UFOs are extraterrestrial spacecraft, require proof. And so far, there is no scientific proof that aliens from other planets have traveled across the vastness of space to visit Earth. I mean, how do we know there isn't proof? Again, if the government is holding evidence hostage, aliens, alien bodies, craft, yeah, they got proof. So I think there is proof. We just don't know about it. But also, there's plenty of people that have seen, I guess, proof with their own eyeballs. Maybe they don't have DNA samples. Maybe they don't have recovered UFO wreckage. And some people have UFO footage, but some of it looks very bad. It's super grainy. And like I said, these iPhone, cameras are horrible for recording UFOs. So sometimes people have they have proof, they have footage, but maybe the footage is too blurry, so people don't believe them. Or maybe the footage is too clear and they're like, that's gotta be fake. So, I mean, you can't win. Anyway, astronomers know that the most UFO sightings aren't truly unidentified. They stem from people's lack of experience with looking at the night sky. For example, many UFO sightings are really sightings of the brightest planet, Venus. Dude, what are you talking about? Yeah, maybe some people mistake Venus for a UFO, but I used to stargaze and UFO hunt for about 15 hours a week, staring at the sky in my backyard, chilling, thinking about creative ideas, thinking about the universe, having fun because it's free. It's like watching a sci-fi movie every time, staring at the sky at night. And the stars are beautiful, staring at the moon, incredible, beautiful, crazy, spiritual. But I've seen a crazy amount of stuff, not just from staring at the sky for many hours, also from just driving down the road. And I can tell you, I've seen a lot of things that is not a stationary object like Venus in the sky. I've seen things shooting across the sky super fast, stop on a dime, then float around, move around intelligently. I've seen octopus jellyfish thing floating around. Who knows what that could have been? I've seen giant craft, like 50 feet above the ground. So I've seen a lot of things that weren't just stationary objects like Venus. Like, I'm not stupid enough to think that Venus is a UFO. Like, I'm not a moron, You either gotta be incredibly low IQ to think that Venus is a UFO, or extremely inexperienced looking at the night sky to think that Venus is a UFO. So, on the other hand, many have seen viral videos of the common UAP encounters with US Navy pilots over the past few years. In these videos, some UFOs even appear faster and more maneuverable than the newest, most advanced aircraft in America's military fleet. Yeah, I mean, it literally looks almost like shining a laser pointer at the sky. That's how these objects move around. Incredibly, impossibly fast. In these videos, some UFOs... One of the most popular examples was nicknamed the Tic Tac. In a 2004 video, the recordings of a tiny, agile, ellipse-shaped UFO was apparently taken aboard a Navy fighter jet from the nuclear aircraft carrier USS Nimitz. Like the other videos featured on May 17th's episode of 60 Seconds, Pentagon officials have confirmed that the video was filmed by naval aviators. What is Tic Tac? Tic Tac was one of 3 UFOs caught on video that Christopher Mellon, who served as U.S. Defense Secretary for Intelligence, declassified for the New York Times. In 2017, after he had left his position with the government, the Times published a story about the videos. It also reported on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, a Pentagon project tasked with investigating such sightings. Mellon told 60 Minutes that he took these steps out of concern that not enough was being done to investigate. He said to Whitaker, "It's bizarre and unfortunate that someone like myself has to do something like that to get a national security issue like this on the agenda." I mean, it took a lot of years for people to start taking UFOs seriously, so I'm glad that we're finally taking it seriously. It's more out in the open. There's footage. There's confirmation that this footage is legitimate from the Pentagon, from the government. People are taking it more seriously, and we should be taking it seriously. We need to look into these things. Where are these objects from? What are they? Are they alien craft? What's worse, that they're aliens, or that it's China invading our airspace with laws of physics defying craft, or orbs, or drones, whatever they might be? Like, which is scarier, you know? Rubio added, which is scarier? Aliens that are, I don't know, millions of years more technologically advanced than the human race, or that China is far superior in technology than the US? Which is scary? Which one is more scarier? Drop it down in the comments. Anything that enters, Rubio added, anything that enters an airspace that's not supposed to be there is a threat. Potentially, yes. Potentially a threat. Don't just jump and say that it is 100% a threat. If it means us no harm, it's just checking us out. Maybe it means good things for us. Don't just call it a threat. Because when you just jump to conclusions and call things threats when they aren't, you know, you could turn it into a threat. Like you shoot a missile at something that means us no harm, just checking us out. That's far superior in technology. Well, now you're going to piss it off. Maybe it's going to retaliate because it's going to be like, oh, screw these humans. We're just here peacefully checking things out. You're going to try to kill us? Nah. We're going to wipe you out. So don't mess with them if you don't know what they are. That's all I'm saying. UFO threat to national security? It's possible that the reported UAPs are some kind of advanced aircraft developed by an adversary nation such as Russia or China. In that case, they really are a threat to national security. However, experts have also suggested that the sightings might arise from issues with the Navy jet's instruments, although pilots report seeing the UFOs with the unaided eye as well. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on the Joe Rogan podcast recently. I started listening to the podcast a couple nights ago. That's what he was saying. He's like, well, you know, he's like, well, the footage that we have, it's picked up by sensors, like the camera sensors, which could be faulty, which could, you know, it's technology. So that's Neil deGrasse. He's very skeptical about UFOs and alien life, which is super annoying. You know, such a smart dude, scientist, whatever he is, to be so skeptical, it just doesn't make sense, you know? He's a little too skeptical. Maybe he's a little too smart for his own good. But he's saying, well, you have to analyze the sensor. What kind of sensor did they use? Blah, blah, blah. Well, anything wrong with it? Analyze the sensor. Maybe you just picked up things incorrectly. True. Fine. Could be some faulty sensors, the radar showing, whatever. But don't forget, there's humans with eyeballs that have seen these objects as well. So it's not just that the radar picked it up. It's not just that the sensor picked it up. There's also human beings, witnesses, Navy pilots, and so on and so forth that have seen these things. So you can't blame it on a faulty sensor. Come on, man. You're just being small-minded again. Lou Elizondo, a former military intelligence officer, emphasized how the subject of UFOs has gone from frivolous to serious inquiry. According to the Washington Post, Elizondo was involved in a secret Department of Defense meeting held in the Capitol building. He runs the unit that later emerged from the meeting, called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Yo, that's crazy that they have a whole task force to investigate UFOs. Doesn't that sound like something from a sci-fi movie? It sounds like they have a branch of the military tasked to fight aliens, basically. Task force. It just sounds like there's more going on that they're telling us. That's just my 2 cents about it. Its mission is to detect, analyze, and catalog UFOs that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security, according to the Pentagon. Elizondo said in an interview with the Post, "We are now relying on military and intelligence collection capabilities to collect the data and then try to interpret the data. This is not a conversation about how grandma saw some lights in the backyard and then people wind up scratching their heads wondering what it was." Poor grandma. Why you gotta bring grandma into this? Leave grandma out of it, alright? She's just as credible as any naval pilot out there. You gotta trust grandma. Grandma's the one that gives you money, sneaks it to you when granddad isn't looking, and she tells, "Shh, don't tell granddad." Grandma's, man, hooking it up. Since 1989. Hooking it up, man. Love it, right? So kind. God. Grandmas are underrated. People like Rubio, Mellon, and Elizondo say they hope that an explanation will shut down any threats if those threats are indeed from earthly nations, not other worlds. Gullible UFO Stories? In the midst of the revived interest in UFOs, some astronomers are feeling frustrated. Why are they feeling frustrated? They've seen interest in the subject wax and wane with no real proof either way. Veteran astronomy educator Andrew Franknoy of Foothills College sent around an email on May 22nd, 2021, titled "A Resource Guide for Dealing with the Current Flood of Gullible UFO Stories." Oh my god, gullible, bro. This just sounds like somebody that's never seen a UFO. Stick to your astronomy, bro. Don't worry about UFOs. If you're super skeptical, just don't even worry about it. Forget UFOs exist. And they do exist. Like many scientists, I have been discouraged by the recent flood of credulous stories about UFOs as mysteries related to extraterrestrials. From the New York Times to the New Yorker to 60 Minutes, the stories follow and credit the same people, untrained in science or photographic techniques, ballyhooing the same misunderstandings. Even President Biden was asked about UFOs at his press conference, as he should be asked. Working with the UFO subcommittee of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry and such astronomers as David Morrison and Seth Shostak, I have assembled a one-page guide to skeptical information and resources about UFOs. The page is available nobody wants to read your skeptical, close-minded, gullible UFO story guide. Yeah, I'm sure some people mistake, natural astronomy phenomenon or whatever with UFOs. No doubt about it. But you have to be open-minded. You have to not be so close-minded and judgmental and say that all UFO stories are gullible, blah, blah, blah. But hey, I mean, look, If you've never seen a UFO, you're closed off to the idea. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't really care to, like, convince people. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Bottom line, in December 2020, U.S. Senator Marco Rubio asked the Pentagon to investigate UFOs. With the help of the Senate Intelligence Committee, his request called for an unclassified report on everything government agencies know about UFOs. The report is due in June 2021. Damn, everything that the government knows? Everything that the government agencies know about UFOs. There's no way they're going to disclose everything they know. Again, if I can see crazy stuff from my backyard, literally from my backyard, in the sky, sometimes 20 feet away from me, sometimes further away, if I can drive down the road and see crazy things in the sky, you know they see a lot crazier things out in space, out, higher in the sky. They're not going to disclose everything that they know. Why would they? Unless there's some kind of crazy serious threat, but even then, they'd probably keep it to themselves to keep people from panicking. That's just my theory. Man, I gotta pee, by the way. I've been drinking all this water and espresso to keep my mouth from doing that. 60 Minutes interview sheds light on UFO sightings in New Jersey. And by the way, I haven't seen the 60 Minutes interview yet. But apparently it was pretty good. The Pentagon finally says UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, are real and may explain what you've seen in the skies over New Jersey. Sunday's report on CBS News, 60 Minutes, about the U.S. government's acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, or what is commonly known as UFOs, naturally caused a buzz about flashes of light and other phenomena that can't be explained in the skies over New Jersey. Before we get to that, correspondent Bill Whitaker reported for 60 Minutes that the Pentagon, that the Pentagon has walked back decades of public denial about the existence of mysterious sightings in the sky. The Director of National Intelligence and Secretary of Defense are to deliver a report ordered by the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee next month that could shed more light on what's out there. Whitaker interviewed former military pilots and intelligence officials who are increasingly concerned about potential national security threats posed by UFOs in restricted U.S. airspace. Yeah, they should be concerned. You got these crazy things flying around. You better be concerned. A former Navy pilot told the CBS correspondent he saw UFOs that outperformed U.S. military aircraft every day for at least a couple of years. That's insane. Every day? Wow. Bro, I gotta pee so bad. Let me just readjust here a little bit. Oh my God. Lou Elizondo, who spent 20 years running military intelligence operations and served in the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, told Whitaker there are simple explanations for some of the things people are seeing in the sky. I agree. Some do have simple explanations, but there are some that are not, he said. 100%. We're not just simply jumping to a conclusion that's saying, oh, that's a UFO out there. We're going through our due diligence. Elizondo said, it is some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed? ? Is it some sort of high-altitude balloon that's conducting reconnaissance? Ultimately, when you have exhausted all those what-ifs, and you're still left with the fact that this is in our airspace, and it's real, that's when it becomes compelling, and that's when it becomes problematic. Okay, I have to go pee real quick because I was literally about to pee myself. Like, no joke. more than 5,500 UFO reports from around the world have been made to the National UFO Reporting Center in the last 15 years. Wow, that's a lot of reports. In New Jersey, 1,972 reports of mysterious sightings in the sky have been made to the organization, which crowdsources reports from residents of the state. As Elizondo pointed out, some UFO sightings are easily explained, but some inspire a deeper curiosity. So far in 2021, there have been 29 UFO sightings in New Jersey. 3 of them were reported within 1 week in Bordentown, Burlington County. First, at about 10 p.m. on April 8th, multiple flying objects were seen at different heights but in the same general area. Some moved throughout the sky, but others seemed to stay stationary. The sighting lasted about 15 minutes. At about 8:52 p.m. on April 14th, a metallic object was seen high in the sky, about 1,000 or 2,000 feet. It kept having aura flash around it, which would obscure the flying object entirely. The sighting lasted about also 15 minutes. The following day, at about 10:45 p.m., a single fiery orange triangle was spotted. Over the course of about 30 seconds, it faded slowly, then vanished entirely. Another orange sphere was seen over Bordentown on January 11th at about 9 p.m. for about 3 minutes. Some other recent UFO sightings in New Jersey include, at about 3:34 a.m. on March 31st, a ball of white light moved across sky in Southampton from south to north in about 3 seconds. It was about the size of a golf ball compared to the moon. Damn, that's a tiny UFO. At about 5 p.m. on April 21st, a UFO was reported affecting the power and electrical in central Jersey. The report came from Woodbridge. The sighting lasted a few minutes. A triangle object was seen in the sky above Woodbridge for about 18 minutes 58 seconds on March 1st. And if anybody has seen these objects as well in New Jersey, drop it down in the comments. At about 7:30 p.m. on March 4th, multiple objects were seen in the sky above Monroe Township, Middlesex County, for about 5 hours. They flashed white and or red and flew low and together. It was extremely visible at night. It's so hard to tell when something is a drone or a UFO, because the drones are getting crazier and crazier. You would be amazed at what they can do. That you can literally program hundreds of drones to fly in unison and create pictures and patterns in the sky. It's wild. Sightings classified as MADAR Node 62 were reported in Trenton on January 3rd and 18th and February 6th. Don't know what that means. What's a Node 62? Those interviewed by 60 Minutes included retired Naval Commander David Fravor, who was conducting a training mission off the coast of California in 2004 when he saw an oblong craft flying erratically through his airspace at incredible speed, maneuvering in a way that defies accepted principles of aerodynamics. Fravor didn't know what to make of it, but said it was not like anything he had ever seen in nearly 20 years of flying. He called it otherworldly. Fravor told Whitaker the wingless, approximately 40-foot-long object, shaped like a tic tac, was about the size of his FA-18F, and mimicked its moves. He wanted to get close to the craft as it continued to gain altitude, and when it gets right in front of me, it just disappears. So your mind tries to make sense of it, added Lieutenant Alex Dietrich, who spoke publicly for the first time in the 60 Minutes interview about what she had encountered. I'm gonna categorize this as maybe a helicopter or maybe a drone. And when it disappeared, it was just ... UFO hunting has been a popular pursuit in the United States since the mid-20th century, when Kenneth Arnold, a businessman piloting a small plane, filed the first well-known report in 1947 of a UFO over Mount Rainier in Washington. I mean, has UFO hunting really been that popular of a pursuit in the US? I mean, I hunt UFOs, but how many UFO hunters do you really know of? Like, how many people do you really know that hunt UFOs? I mean, there's a bunch for sure, but like, I don't know. Arnold claimed he saw 9 high-speed crescent-shaped objects zooming along at several thousand miles per hour, like saucers skipping on water. Wow. Although the objects Arnold claimed to see weren't saucer-shaped at all, his analogy led to the popularization of the term flying saucers. And since then, Americans have been more or less obsessed with the idea that alien life is among us. It may be easy to scoff at some eyewitness accounts on the National UFO Reporting Center, but the idea of intergalactic travel got a boost when information emerged from the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, a $22 million multi-year program that began in 2007 to investigate unidentified aerial phenomena, according to reports by the New York Times and Politico. Wow. Former Nevada Democratic Senator Harry Reid slipped in an earmark for the program into the Pentagon budget. Nevada, of course, is the home of a U.S. Air Force facility known as Area 51. Let's get a little closer on this one. The source of multiple alien conspiracy theories, including claims that interstellar visitors are held there. That the 1947 Roswell crash wasn't a weather balloon at all, but a Soviet aircraft piloted by mutated midgets. And I have heard about that. That the bodies recovered in the 1947 Roswell crash were deformed, very small, but apparently they were just midgets or like smaller human beings, weren't aliens. But I feel like there probably were aliens, but who really knows? Somebody does know, that's the point. And that the 1969 moon landing was filmed by the US government in one of the Area 51 hangars. What do you think? Did we actually go to the moon? Was the moon landing faked and filmed? Was some of it faked and filmed because they lost some of the footage, so they had to refilm some of the moon landing in a hangar? What do you think? Drop it down in the comments. The Pentagon program was defunded in 2012, or so they say. A report released in late 2017 included Fravors' accounts of the wingless object, about 40 feet long and shaped like a Tic Tac. I wondered, has the sales of Tic Tacs been skyrocketing this past year? Which he described to ABC News in 2017 as not from this world. I'm not crazy, haven't been drinking, he said at the time. It was, after 18 years of flying, I've seen pretty much about everything that I can see in that realm, and this was nothing close. In the 60 Minutes interview, former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, whose FA-18 squadron began seeing UFOs over restricted airspace southeast of Virginia Beach in 2014, told Whitaker that pilots speculate on whether the UFOs are the result of secret U.S. technology, I'm sure some of them are, an adversary's spy vehicle, I'm sure some of them are, or something otherworldly. I'm positive some of those are as well. Of those, he said, the highest probability is it's a threat observation program, possibly using Russian or Chinese technology. I am worried, frankly, he said. You know, if these were tactical jets from another country that were hanging out up there, it would be a massive issue. But because it looks slightly different, we're not willing to actually look at the problem in face. We're happy to just ignore the fact that these are out there watching us every day. And that's creepy. You don't want to ignore anything that's watching you every single day. You know what I'm saying? You might want to investigate that. But anyway, my alien babies. Drop down in the comments if you've ever seen a UFO. Share your incredible UFO or ghost story. And continue to follow your dreams, live life, stay incredibly positive. Maybe buy a little Doge, maybe don't. I don't know. Not a financial advisor. But anyway, stay safe, my alien babies, and have a good day or night.
Welcome to my dream. It's good to see you again. We can kick back now. The show has reached the end. Turn out the lights. It's late in the hour. Everything you love has all come home. Farewell for now, my friend. I'll see you around again. Farewell for now, my friend. I'll see you around again. Believe in me, we're all alive together. You came through